Today, I am thrilled to welcome my first guest from across the globe, all the way from Queensland, as she corrected me. I love that. Australia. That's so amazing. I'm so excited. Joining us is the incredibly talented Lisa Colahan, a stylist who specializes in blondes and balayage using Art to Go range hair products. Lisa's work has earned her recognition and a feature on the Today Show, which is, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk about that, where she showcased her amazing DIY project, building a house in her backyard, you guys, and transforming it into a beautiful hair salon, which I have been tracking, by the way, your journey, so she can work from home. Brilliant. In today's episode, we'll dive into Lisa's unique journey, her innovative approach to creating a home-based salon, and her expertise in blondes and balayage. Whether you're new to the industry or just looking for fresh ideas, Lisa's story is sure to inspire and motivate you. So, without further ado, let's get inspired. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So, Lisa, we've never met. So you agreed to come on, and I say this to every guest because I am currently still an intimate small following, but again, that means nothing to me. I have something to bring to the table, and I'm going to bring it, and we won't be in this space forever. It's only going to get better from here. So thank you. I appreciate that. So let's get into it. Let's talk about, Lisa, your background and your journey. Can you tell us about your journey into the hair industry and initially what drew you in?
I started hairdressing when I was only 16. So it was when I was in school and a school-based apprenticeship sort of popped up for me. I have always been a creative person. So sitting in a classroom and sitting still wasn't really, where I really fit, I suppose. So
I mean, clearly you built a whole house in your backyard.
I had a bit of help, but that's right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that for me, naturally doing something with my hands, being in a creative space was always going to be in my future. So that's where I started. I was working in various salons here in Brisbane through to the Sunshine Coast. I actually worked on board cruise ships as well, and a lot of it was in US waters, South America. So I was on board Princess Cruises. Actually, Hawaii and Tahiti was my 4-month routing. So that wasn't
That's amazing.
all terrible. Yeah.
I mean, poor you.
Oh, seriously. Yeah, it was just, I was 21.
How old were you, Lisa, when you were doing that?
Yeah, I was 21. So
you were 21. Perfect.
21. Yeah, so that's definitely something I'll never forget. And I was working alongside beauty therapists and the girls in the spa, fitness instructors, everything. So it was
I mean, how did you even, gosh, I think when I came into hair, that was the last thing I thought of. I think I'll work on a cruise ship. Like, how did that even come to mind?
Again, it's like you just get inspired by other people. So Steiner is the company who employ the hair, beauty, and spa and fitness instructors on board the cruise ships. And they came out to the hairdressing academy when I was in my apprenticeship, and they just came out to do a talk. And I was just sitting there like, I kept all the notes, I kept all the little flyers. And then one day I was like, I'm going to do that. And my mum was like, and then I did it. And I just, off I went. Yeah. And I got sent to Hawaii. That was where I had to join my ship. So I was not at all unhappy about that.
That is amazing. And you did that again for how long?
I was on board for 9 months. So
9 months.
Yeah.
Did you just do like a 9-month round, or did you do it for multiple years? Just 9 months? Which is a long time. That's amazing.
Yeah. I just did the one contract and I had to come home. Some circumstances happened. So but that was always a memory that I don't think I could have ever recreated anyway. So I had to just, yeah, it's
What a
once again.
great way what a
Yeah,
great way to come into the industry. How exciting is
um,
that? So
yeah,
what led you into blondes and, specifically the balayage technique? You know, there's so many, and
yeah, yeah,
balayage is the one that, you know, I get hit or miss. Some people, the open air thing, they're just like, "No, I want no parts." But then I interviewed Amy McManus. She's
yeah,
camouflage and balayage, and she just does amazing, amazing, amazing work. So
yeah, yeah.
is that just lack of education or understanding, or what do you think?
I think that anyone is able to, do whatever they like to achieve their results. And if it works, then, that's amazing. The hairdressing industry is always going to be innovated, and they're always going to be bringing in new skills, and
Yeah.
people want to see them. If people see like a beautiful result, naturally they're going to be like, oh, wow, I want to try that. So I don't think there's any rules at all. And it's personal preference for the stylist. Me personally, I got into it because it's the way of lived in colors. That's what
Yes.
everybody wants. They have their inspo pick, and that's what they want. It's very easy these days to see exactly what somebody wants to achieve with their hair results. So, but yeah, naturally, I just got into it because I suppose when you're following along all these trends on Instagram or other social media platforms, you start to learn how to do them even from following other artists. And
Yeah.
that's how I learned, because I'm just a sole trader. So I'm here on my own. Obviously, every now and then I like to go into a class situation and do my trainings. But for me, I do learn. I've already learned all the basics, the foundations of hairdressing, but I can learn from somebody just by watching what they're doing. So,
Oh, you're a
yeah,
visual learner. That's
I am.
perfect. I'm
Yeah.
not, but
You're not.
oh, you're blessed.
Oh,
Woo, I
sometimes.
need all the steps, all the steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so is that primarily what you do in the salon, or just color services and cuts, or are you doing extensions at all, or um,
Yeah.
none of
So,
that?
no, I don't do any extensions. Unfortunately, it probably would be something that I would love to learn. It's just
Yeah.
that I suppose my niche and my clients, I'm fully booked with just doing women only, and just colors, mainly foils and balayage and haircut styling. And that's what I just focus on. Yeah, it's
And
easy for me.
where do you train? Like, who inspires you to wanna continue on and learn new things, and where do you get your education out where you are?
There's a lot of beautiful salons in Australia that have education accounts now on Instagram. So I generally always will be following along, and then something will pop up and I'll save whatever it is that I like. And that's actually how I keep.
You teach
Yeah,
yourself.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
let's back up a little bit. You cruise ship, and now you're in your solo situation. What did you do in between? Were you ever in a major salon or any other type of salon setup?
Yep. I've worked in very large salons. I've worked, most of them were all large salons, a lot of stylists and that sort of thing. I had a break from the industry actually for about 8 years before I've come back to hairdressing the last 3 years. So
Oh,
within that
perfect.
time, yeah, I was actually working in the travel industry. So I wanted to have a bit of a break from hair. I also was in a car accident where I hurt myself, my neck,
Okay.
and just the physical standing and everything like that, it,
Mhm.
it did impact me. But during COVID, the travel industry, obviously went
Came to a
upside
halt.
down. Yeah,
Mhm.
it did. And where I was, a lot of us got stood down. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I've always got the skill that's like riding a bike. So I got back into hairdressing and went and worked in a salon here in Brisbane. But that sort of environment, unfortunately, isn't for me anymore, or that
Yeah.
one maybe particularly. It just, So I guess with my business, I actually didn't really set out to bring it to life. Once I finished up at that salon, I had got to a point where my family was more important than,
Mhm.
an environment that might have been impacting your mental health. So,
Oh, absolutely.
it's just not worth it. But it is sad because, there's a lot of skills lost in the industry because of that,
Yes.
sadly. A lot of
Sadly.
great people, great stylists. So I said, I'm just going to get a job, just, easy, Monday to Friday sort of admin, come home, not have to worry. But then all of a sudden, I was running into my clients everywhere. And because of social media now, they were like, oh, Lisa, where are you? Where are you working? Like, you actually can't really, you can find your hairdresser now. And that is okay because
Isn't that something?
customer choice always. So, yeah, I started to just do some hair from home. I set up a little space in my kitchen, and it was during COVID. So I built my business during COVID, and I guess people were like, "Oh, the one-on-one service, not in, especially, if people were
Quarantined, yep. You can
in,
distance from other people, and that was the perfect way to segue
yeah,
back in.
it was.
Wow. Like, I feel
Yes,
like your career has just ebbed and flowed, but in a beautiful way.
yeah. Thank you. I do think so.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you have your challenges along the way, but yeah, I think you just have to keep you have to keep going.
You gotta keep keeping. Are you a mama and a wife,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Oh,
both.
I love
Yeah,
that, and so now you can work from home. So let's talk about that
yeah,
DIY
yeah,
home salon.
yeah.
Wow. So how did the idea of building a DIY house in your backyard and turn it into a salon, how did that come about? Just by entering in, you said you entered in through COVID, which was perfect timing because clients were willing to they go get their hair done in your backyard if you let them
Yeah,
in the gate, right? So
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah,
like,
that's right. The
my
plastic
hair.
chair in the backyard.
Yep, and so a lot of people got their, gray transformations took off, and a lot of people got famous from that, from COVID. For every bad situation, you can always find a light, and so I think COVID had its ups and downs, but all in all, it was what you made it. Some people found
Absolutely.
relationships, some people had more kids, some people opened businesses like you and got famous on social media. I mean, you name it. So
Yeah.
when you were in your conceptual stage, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a DIY house. I had no idea. So
Yeah.
please do tell. Do tell.
Well, so because I was working in our home and having two little kids, it was great during the day when they were at daycare. But obviously, a lot of my clients were the Saturday appointments or late nights because it suits them. So my husband would have to quickly, get the kids and go over to my mum and dad's. And I wanted that space just for them, especially if they were mums too, where it
Yep.
was their downtime. But it got to a point where I was too busy, and I
Mhm.
always, there was never a moment for me to, break away from the work. My work life and my home life was in the same space. So
Right.
that's when I started to think, okay, what can I do? I've got two options. I either maybe go out and rent a space and have staff and all that, or I look at something where I'm still from home, but it's a separate space entirely. Um, I
Mhm.
did I did sort of have a look at a few different options, but when I sort of put figures together and all that, what I would have invested in my space here, I would have done so in a full fit out in a salon, because naturally I would want it to be very high end and beautiful. And then that would have meant more pressure on me as a mum, as a
Mhm.
manager, finding staff and doing all that. I know I can do that, but it's not right for now, especially with young kids
Well,
and they.
I've owned large salons in the past, 2 of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
One was 10 chair, one was a 14 chair, and I know what that takes, and I know the grind, and I know although you're the owner, people they underestimate how underwhelming it can be in that position, you
Sure.
know? That you are chained to your business.
Yeah,
You although people work for you, you're still responsible. Ultimately, the ball falls on you,
absolutely. That's right.
and it can be stressful. Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's,
Yeah.
yeah, you should be very proud of yourself for that because and yeah, it's huge.
It's a
And also,
lot.
oh yeah, like and managing everyone and all the clients and having to make sure everything every day is seamless and perfect. It's incredible. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, so you decide, "Nope, I don't wanna do that. I'm gonna go
yeah.
this way."
Yes, that's right. So I looked at a few different options for a do-it-yourself kit set, and there was only another a company I think that stood out, but she shed cabins were 100% my vision. I could not steer away from it.
Is
That
that
was
worldwide? She shed?
she shed.
It's worldwide?
They are Australian and New
Oh,
Zealand.
gotcha.
Yes, I know. There's so many people that are asking me,
DM
and
you.
maybe one day that'd be awesome because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's such a beautiful shed. Like it's
I
gorgeous.
mean, aesthetically beyond pleasing.
Yeah,
Aesthetically beyond, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Um, I so you order this kit, and
yeah,
how many months, days, hours, minutes does it
yeah.
take to
So
build?
I initially the shed was the first thing I bought, and there's different sizes that you can choose from. The smallest one I think is 9 square meters. This one is 12 square meters, and then they go up to 24. I don't actually know, but they do. People are using them for all sorts of different businesses here in Australia and New Zealand, and also like granny flats as well. But for me,
Does
I
it get
bought.
power to it? And obviously, you're doing hair. So
Yeah,
where
yeah.
how do you hook your electricity and stuff?
Well, my husband's a plumber, so he
Perfect.
built, he dug a trench from out the back of our house all the way to the shed, and he was able so that all the plumbing and the electrical
Oh
work
my
was
god.
able. I don't know all the terms, but anyway,
No, I know
um,
what you mean.
he- and but yeah, it was he was able to set up for the electrician to come in and do his job, and my husband did all the plumbing. So, but
Oh my
for
gosh.
those
Huge.
trades, this sort of setup would be easy for them. They would just have to make sure they're communicating together to make sure that they're on
Well,
board
that's
and
what I wanted the viewers to know, like, it's a beautiful, experience and a beautiful outcome, but what all that goes into that outcome,
yeah.
it's not easy. It's not like you
No,
just put this together and plugged it into the wall, and there
no,
you are.
that's
So
right. Well, because the shed arrives basically on a truck, and they have a crane, and they were able to put all of the kit set into our front yard, and then it arrived on a Friday, and my client was there, and her husband is a builder, and I was like, oh my god, I can't let that just sit out in my front yard. Like I need this to start soon. So
exactly.
I got him around on the Saturday morning and my husband, and they built half of it. And then we had this torrential rain come the next weekend. And
No.
I was at my back door, and I was just looking at it thinking, oh my God, it looks like Noah's Ark. Like I can't deal. But it was completely fine. This wood is European and it is beautiful, sturdy. It's absolutely,
Oh, thank God.
yeah, no,
Yes.
it's
That would
perfectly.
be terrifying, the thought of everything being ruined.
Yeah, for sure.
Oof.
But the next weekend it was good weather and we got more processed. But we did a lot of it ourselves to save money because obviously if I had all the trades coming in and whipped it up in 2 weeks, yes, you
Yep.
can do that. absolutely have it all done within 2 weeks. But for us, it was about a 6-month
Oh,
journey because, like I said, we did a lot of it once it was built. My brother's a cabinet maker, so he did the Stecker wood. My dad's, he's very handy as well. So um, they were able to all pull together to do, to lay my tiles, to paint. And then obviously once all that was done, I had a handyman. He did the desk here, the curves as well at the back.
yeah, like the arc.
The arches,
Arch.
yeah.
Yep, the arch.
The back area there is actually a IKEA kitchen bench with
Gotta
cupboards.
love IKEA. That's
Yeah,
more putting things together, but yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Well, I love, love, love Australian Love Island, and, they always refer to, like, "He's a tradie," and I'm like, "What is that?"
Lady. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would that be someone that could build? I never understood, like, what it meant.
Our tradies are like our plumbers, electricians,
All the people you needed
all the
to build
people that
your
we need.
DIY
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. That is
yeah.
so cool. So you
It
would
is.
say some of the challenges were just the reason, part of why it took you 6 months rather than the 2 weeks is
Yep.
to put all the pieces together and all the things.
Yeah, that's
What was
right.
the biggest challenge, would you say?
Ooh, the biggest challenge. Gosh. Well, me physically, I suppose I didn't build anything in here. Um, but I suppose mentally for me, just not. My challenge was not seeing the result, and I suppose this goes with any house or renovation. Like us as women, we probably sit back and go, "Oh, I can't see it yet. Like it looks, but
Yep, you wanna
you've
see
got
the
to
vision
trust.
come
Yeah,
together and it
once that
doesn't.
all comes together,
Yes,
yeah, just
yes.
absolutely amazing. So you got to trust in yourself and yeah, don't be afraid to outsource because I bought the shed and all of my beautiful furniture and then I engaged with a interior designer because I needed to make sure that every single centimeter of this place was functionable for me and for my clients. And investing that much money as well, you really want someone to help bring your vision to life.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I think that was something that I wouldn't have been able to do it all without her. So yeah, and on the final day, I actually had all my things, and she did like a final styling, and I was still working in my kitchen, and she wrapped up and she left, and it was like golden hour here, and I came out and I literally nearly burst into tears. It was
Oh my
just
god, I can't
yeah,
imagine. Oh
yeah,
my
it was
god. She did a
yeah. So
beautiful job.
she really did. Yeah, she did. So
Oh, I
yeah,
love that. And so
yeah.
how is that has that changed, um, your approach to hairdressing? Do you feel more or less inspired, because when we come from, a space with camaraderie and I'm in a studio now. I took a
Oh,
break. Yeah, back in 2009, I sold the last salon just to take a break, to catch my breath, to see where I was gonna open up next. Went
yeah.
into a studio with, a colorist that I've worked with until she retired in 2020 because we both came from Tony and Guy, so we were stuck together because we were
I worked for him as
departmentalized.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, did you? Oh my gosh, I loved
yeah,
it, but it was the thing then,
yeah.
everything's changed now. You wouldn't departmentalize, you wouldn't specialize today, right? But
Right.
we got to that studio and it felt so good. I never left. I never went back.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
woo, it almost frees you up. It gives you the space to do other
yeah,
things that you also aspire to do. Like I
yeah.
like other things. But owning it takes all of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you being by yourself now, you're perfectly fine, I would imagine, because you came back into the industry with that intention
Yeah,
after
yeah,
being gone. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing. I have actually not only do I connect more on a personal level with my clients. You know, they become,
Yeah.
it's more of a like it's a specialized service when they just get you, and you build, I think, firmer connections from that. And
Yeah.
not only that, like connect with all different, you know, women in business all the
Yeah.
time, and I love that because I love learning about what they've created, and it's a very positive space. Well,
Yes.
I find that I'm in,
Yes.
because everyone really does want to encourage each other. Like everyone would love to be doing something for themselves, you know.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, so I've made the most beautiful friends and connections
Mhm.
from just creating my own business. So
I love
yeah,
it. I
yeah,
love it. And that's part of, what I'm trying to do too, just create a community of hairstylists who want to share and grow and,
yep,
those that aren't gatekeepers. I don't think it's
yeah,
smart to be a gatekeeper in
no,
today's era.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
you're not doing anything that anyone else is not doing or doing rather.
Yeah,
It's
yep,
just, but, and no matter how much you give away, nobody is going to be you.
absolutely. I love
And
that.
so it's like, I
Yeah,
don't know what
no one
you're
can.
afraid of, like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I if I tell you how to do it,"
yep,
well, they can still end up knowing how to, or they can still end up being better than you.
yeah,
They'll just train with somebody else. It's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just so silly to me.
Oh, 100%.
And yeah, and on that
Yeah.
note, do you have any, tips or tricks that you can share with the audience on achieving, like, your perfect signature blonde balayage? Do you do anything that you wanna share that is kind of like a pro tip?
Um, Look, I would say, you know, probably just every time your client is coming back to you,
Yeah,
investing in making sure that you're having good conversations with them about their hair, like asking them, how was your hair last time? And
yeah,
is there anything you want to change? You know,
yeah,
because a lot of the time our clients are vulnerable when they're in front of us. And if they don't have a voice, or they don't feel they can really be honest and say, oh, well, I actually didn't really like this last time. Is it okay if we
yeah,
change this? It gives them an option to be honest with you, but also to really focus on retaining that trust as well. Because
for sure.
just because a client comes to you doesn't mean they're going to be with you forever. Like, as we know, a lot of people move away, they move on, their circumstances change. So we have no control over that. So,
Right,
but all we can do is focus on really treating those clients, and they're like gold, so long as they
true.
also, you know, are respectful of us and our business and our terms and conditions, you know, cancellations, things like that, which are minor. But yeah, I think that that's probably my main focus. I'm not like the best hairdresser in the world, and like you said, people come to me for me. So, you know, I can only do my job as best I can, and I do that every time consistently. But probably the biggest thing I focus on is the retention, because
Well, yeah,
that's
and we say we're not the best in the world, but you're the best to the people that are loyal and who follow you,
yeah,
or else they would go to somebody else.
that's right.
And you
Yeah.
do beautiful work, I
Thank
noticed,
you.
that's for
Thank
sure.
you.
What would you say when you're looking at work, or do you even have this perspective when you're looking at other people's work? If you were to talk to the next generation of hair, because that's who I'm passionate about helping. I call
Yes.
them the newbies. I love newbies.
Oh, I
Like, I
love
want to teach you
that.
everything because, why fall in that pit if you don't have to? If I can
Yep.
redirect you, that's the mama in me. I have
Yes.
kids, kids. Yeah. So
Yeah.
why not
Yep.
help, right? After
Yep.
28 years doing this, I got to give you something. So
Yep.
what would you say are the most common mistakes that people make when you see, because if blonde is your specialty with blondes and balayage, is there
Yep.
something that you see consistently and you're like, God, if you had only done this instead? Like, I know how to tweak that. If I knew you, I would tell you what.
Yeah. Oh, like to look at maybe like color, and me sort of want to, you know, fix that, or help that person. So it would depend on the situation. Look, a lot of it is maybe a color choice that has, if they've got like a before picture and then suddenly you see the after and you're like, well, it's never going to be like exactly the same. But then if it's not near it, I guess it would be for the young ones coming through, don't be afraid to get some guidance from your seniors. And if they're not willing to take time out to help you, then
you're in the wrong place.
absolutely. Yeah. Like
Mhm.
they're there and they are the future of who is going to be doing our hair.
I'm telling
And
you.
they need to be good. Like,
Thank you. And I'm like,
yes,
it would behoove you to make
yeah,
sure that to keep our industry strong,
yes,
if you want this industry to be viewed as a profession and
mm,
you have people out there that aren't doing professional looking work, like you got
yeah,
to be able to do hair better than your client can do themselves. And
that's
clients are
exactly
getting really
right.
good, by the way, with those blowouts. So
Yeah,
you better
yeah,
watch out, stylist.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
let's
That's
talk
right.
about with the stylings. That leads me to my next question. Art to go
Oh, yep,
range.
yep.
Never heard of it. Is that an Australian line or
Yeah,
something
so
that we can get here in the States? Like why is that your favorite?
so Artego is from
Oh,
Italy.
Artego. Okay.
Artego, yep.
Yep.
So yeah, they are based in Italy. They have, I'm pretty sure, their own like warehouse and everything. So they don't just get manufactured in the same production line as everything else. So, but basically, when I was coming out into my space, I wanted a product that aligned with me and my
Yeah.
space and my values. And I was using another product line, but they weren't interested in wholesaling to me.
Oh,
And I think that they want the big fish, but you know what? The little fish, we make up the big fish. So
I'm telling you.
that's
Hello.
it.
You're part of my tribe. That's for
Yes,
sure. I love
absolutely.
that line
So
of thinking.
yeah, so I was very off that. And I was like, no, well, I'm sure there's someone else out there. And next minute, the beautiful Sandra from Artego here in New South Wales slid into my DMs. And it was just like, you know, and she's, asking me about what I'm using and would I be interested in learning more? And I said, absolutely. When are you free? And it was like 10 o'clock on a Monday. And she was right there, ready to talk, gave me the most amazing amount of information about the product. It's quite new here in Australia, I think about maybe 7 years, but it's massive in Europe. So,
Wow.
um, but the product itself is beautiful. The colors are very true to swatch. I needed to make sure that grey coverage was like tick, tick, tick. And
Right.
there's a beautiful range of just cool colors. So no warmth in them at all. So for that,
Mm.
brunette that just sometimes, you might put a color on and naturally it's going to throw, it's actually got the cooler in there, which I love because I do a lot of that lived in where people want to be,
Yeah.
like a nice cool brown with, some balayage shoot through the end. So I love it. It's beautiful and it
Oh,
fits and they take care of me and they check in all the time. And I've got an amazing connection with them and I know that I belong with them. So,
I
you know,
love it. Do they
yeah.
have hair care products that you can send home with your clients? Do you have carry the whole
Yeah,
entire line?
yeah, they have the whole entire range. They have a organic range as well called Rain Dance and really nice for those people who want to have that option and really cost effective so they don't blow out the budget for my clients as well.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. How did you get to be featured on the Today Show? They noticed you along with
Yes,
Artego. So
yes, yes, yes.
how did this come about and how has it impacted your career?
Well, I was featured in a magazine first here in Australia called Adore Magazine, and I think that sort of exposure initially was very attractive to people. I
Mhm.
think that's how the Today Show, but also they were doing a story on the housing crisis. So
Okay.
the housing crisis here in Australia and how there were families going out and buying do-it-yourself kits at homes. And then my salon popped up and they wanted to include that within the story. So it was a story on not just it was
For
a
sure.
story on, yeah. So
Yeah,
but that
but
was
you got
amazing.
featured on their
I did,
story about
yeah,
DIY and houses, basically.
yeah, yeah,
That's amazing. And
yeah. It
so,
was,
and were your clients just like, "Oh my god, my
yeah,
stylist is on the how did
yeah,
they respond?
yeah. They were so proud and they were so excited, and they were sending me, tagging me and sending me things, and it was awesome. It was very nerve-wracking, but
Hey, you
um,
did a great job on the clip
oh,
I saw. It looked very natural to me.
oh, thanks. Yeah, it's hard sometimes, yeah, but it
Yeah,
was
I mean, you get
amazing.
nervous, like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
"Ooh, but they walk you through it. I've done some
yeah.
media stuff. They walk you through and it's still
That's
you're
so
still
good.
never prepared for it though.
No, that's right. Yeah,
You're like, "Ah." No, you
yeah,
did a great job, and our clients really do champion us, and they really do want us to win. They really do,
yeah. They
you
do.
know?
It's amazing because yeah, people do. They just want to rally around you and they love being a part of it. And it just makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm.
Do you have any future goals in this business? Is this it? Like, is this how you go off into the sunset when you're done doing clients in your beautiful backyard? Or do you have any other aspirations? Like, a lot of people want to do stage work, they want to do brand ambassador work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
work for a product line, what have you.
So definitely. And actually, it's funny you say that. Last year, I spent about 6 months bringing an online course to life.
Nice.
And I've still got that in the background. It's like a Kickstarter for business owners to know how they can get their little side hustle off the ground and running. The start of this year, though, threw a few curveballs just with family life and stuff. So I've just put a bit of a hold so I can focus on that and the business that I already have. But
What's the name of your education platform?
well, it's Waves of Success. So
Oh, catchy.
yeah, yeah. So it's disabled at the moment just because I am going through a few changes with it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a course that I
It's in the
have built.
conception stage. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're building it to bring
yeah,
something amazing.
yeah,
Well, I can already tell by talking to you that you're gonna be a great, business consultant
yeah.
because look what you did. Like, you
Oh,
ground up. You talk about, you
thank
know
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I definitely enjoy, a lot of people do reach out to me, not just asking me about the shed and how I brought that to life, but also, wanting something for themselves. And
Yes.
that's what I would love to dive into. Mentoring other salon owners, business owners to help them achieve their goals as well. So yeah, I love that. And I love just inspiring the young ones like you because they
Yeah.
they are so important to us, and they do get lost in, some of these spaces, and it
Mm.
ruins their experiences.
Yeah.
And I feel for them because they're so young and they're
Yeah.
so, innocent as well. And they deserve a leader to really be able to encourage them and inspire them. You know, um,
Mhm.
they expect so much of these young ones to perform and to
Yeah.
do the social media and be a manager themselves, but actually they've just come into this. They're
Right.
just learning how to cut hair, or so
I
why
mean,
is
you
there?
learn how to take a good photo before you actually learn how to do a decent haircut, and it's just so sad, and you start
Yeah,
and because you don't know what you're doing just yet, and no fault to you because you gotta
yeah,
hit the ground running on social media or you can't possibly build a clientele these days, so it's really sad.
yeah.
I'm glad I missed that era 'cause,
Oh,
woo, if it was solely social media, I'd be screwed,
yeah, and it's
point blank.
unrealistic. Yeah, and these I mean, they're sort of pressuring them on weekends to, oh, quick, we need more clients, but it's like, you're not even allowing them a break in their personal time. And
Yeah.
that's not their job. If you've got a salon, that is your job. You invest in that social media marketing and lay off the young ones. That's how I see
Oh,
it.
yeah. I didn't even consider that
It
piece.
is. It's
You're
just,
absolutely right. They use them for their youngness, if you will, and
yeah,
their social media acumen in that they grew up with an iPad in their face, and their
yeah,
picture and their parents taking photos and posting them as little kids on
yeah,
social media. That's a
yeah.
whole thing in and of itself, isn't it?
It is. It's a whole little job within the job that they're there to do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm there with you. It's just,
And that
yeah.
warms my heart. I appreciate you saying that
Oh,
because it's very you don't connect this way with everybody who has the passion for the next generation. It's more
yeah,
about my own personal fame and how many people are following me and all this stuff. And I've talked to now stylists who have more than 400,000 followers, and she behind the scenes she has it ain't all that it's cracked up to be. They're not making money necessarily. Somebody with a lesser following could possibly be making more money than somebody with a large following. I mean, it's
yeah.
tricky, the algorithm and how they pay you and monetize you. I mean, it's all a whole thing.
It
So,
is, isn't it? It's like a big beast. Yeah.
well, the newbies need you. I
Yes.
love
I
that.
know.
And so
Oh, they need
hopefully somebody in my audience, because that's who I cater to, will see this
us.
interview and be inspired by you and your words and your expertise. I love that.
Oh, thank you so much.
How do you balance, Lisa, your work-life balance? Being a mom with kids and now your business is in your backyard. You're married. Like how do you balance that?
Look, I think the first year was definitely probably the hardest. You're really trying to build your client base and everything like that. I think that everyone assumes that having a business, you do have work-life balance. I would probably say a lot of businesses would go, yeah, we do, but we don't. But you
But you
know
don't.
what? I think that for me, 3 years in now, I do try and have more boundaries. Like having a
Mhm.
business in my backyard. If someone messages, then I can say, oh yeah, just come tomorrow night or this morning or that. But it's like, no,
Yeah.
I have to try and remember that I am allowed to say, well, no, I don't have anything available, because otherwise I'll be out here 24/7 because I'm a bit of a workaholic. So
Yeah.
um, I have to set those boundaries myself to allow myself to be the best mum I can be,
Yeah.
and also here for my clients. But going away, if I'm here 4 to 5 days in my salon, I also spend probably 2 to 3 hours on my social media and interacting with people
Yeah.
online a day. So that's time that's considered that I'm also investing in my business, and I
Yeah.
love doing that. But you know, for anyone else, I suppose considering doing this, it is very hard work, but you're doing it for you, you're doing it for your family, and you know, so many people would want and love to be doing it. I can, schedule my appointments around, my kids and my daughter's assembly. I was able to go to that just for 20 minutes, and my client didn't mind waiting 20 minutes.
Oh,
Some,
that's so
things,
nice.
they are things that, for children, my daughter that morning was like, Mummy, are you coming? She expects me to come now. And I do try and come to all the things, but those are the things that I go, wow, you don't have to be earning all the money in the world. You don't have to be, like you said,
Yeah.
you know, it's just having that balance. And I think that I do have that. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, and that's one of the beautiful things about this business is if you're smart about the business side of hairdressing, it really can be a lucrative and rewarding career. It really
Yeah.
can. I mean, I
Yeah.
raised a whole family, bought a house,
Yeah.
car,
Yeah. Wow.
vacations.
Yeah.
It can be. You just have
Yeah.
to do it right, you know?
Yeah. 100%. That's exactly right. And don't be afraid to reach out to people and outsource a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning that,
Yes.
and now yeah, oh boy. And with
Yeah.
this new platform, lots of editing and
Yeah.
marketing and I
Oh,
have
so
to
much
reach out to
behind the scenes.
people. Yeah, I reach out to stylists. Some ghost me, some don't respond at all, some respond. But, I always say, and I'll say this every episode, I'm going to treat this show exactly like I treated my chair.
Yeah.
I don't worry about who's not in my chair. I cater
Yeah.
to the ones who are.
Yeah.
And on this show, I'm not going to worry who's not across from me on this screen. I'm going to champion the ones who are. And
Yeah.
because you can't think about what's not happening. If
That's
you
right.
do that, you might as well just turn around and start looking behind you. I can't do
Yeah.
that. I got to look this way.
That's right.
And all the yeses are this way, the nos or the nothings and it's okay because the no, I don't take it personal. I don't take it as a failure because the nos may not have even seen your invitation. They may
Yeah.
not have the bandwidth to do it, although they mean well. I mean, you can't poo-poo on everybody, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's right.
so
No,
yeah,
it's amazing.
it's been interesting.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. I think no matter, I suppose, like going from salon to now what you're doing, I can totally relate because you sort of, you might have a client that might not come back or somebody might ghost you or something. And it's like, you know what? I've become very thick skinned when I just go, it just opens up at the door for someone amazing to come through it. So, and it always does. Like
Always.
always, you always sort of get connected and aligned with people who are your people. And there are so many people. So,
Yeah, and this whole notion that you own somebody, you don't
no,
own
yeah,
people. They don't
no.
have to come to you ever again, you know? And
Oh,
so it's
it's
just so funny, but we get so hurt because stylists, we do have a little ego and pride
yeah,
as, because it's our
yeah,
work, it's our hands. We put our
yeah.
whole heart into something and you want
That's right.
your client to feel beautiful
Yeah.
or handsome.
Yes, yes, that's right.
So, is there, in closing, a particular story or moment from your career that stands out, especially rewarding or impactful? Is it your cruise or is there something else? Like, what can you say has impacted you the most?
Um, oh gosh. The cruise was
That's
definitely yeah, the cruise was a highlight in my career, but I think bringing something to life of my own
yeah,
that's stood out, that stands out and is like um, very attractive to others and inspiring. I think that's for me. I feel like I have, yeah, helped other people, and I love that. I think that's
yeah,
something that probably stands out the most is just knowing that, yeah, I've got so many people from across the globe who
yeah.
I'm connecting with, and probably from all the exposure over the last year or two as well. Yeah, I hope that answers that
It
question.
does.
Sorry,
It
I'm
answered it
ranting a little bit.
perfectly. Yeah, no, it answered it perfectly. I
Great.
love
Yeah.
that. And again, great information to inspire that next generation. So, Lisa, at the
Yeah.
end, I like to do something fun because I love
Sure.
games and
Okay.
reality TV. So I tried celebrity stuff with one of the stylists at the end, but I'm like, no, I think I'm going to stick with my rapid fire questions where they don't know what's coming. And I
Okay.
give you a minute to answer these questions.
Sure.
And this is the point of the show where I put the big giant glasses on. They got to go on because I can't see.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to set the timer for 60 seconds
Sure.
here. 60 seconds. I always confuse myself. That's a minute. 60 seconds. Yes, that is a minute. Okay. Are you ready?
I
I
think
say
so.
T, but it's D. My kids are like, Mom, it's ready. I'm like, I know. I don't know how to talk. I can't speak English well. All righty. Here we go. Favorite hair color to work with?
Blondes.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
Go-to hair product.
I'm going to say Artego.
Beach or mountains?
Oh, mountains.
Favorite Australian food?
A chicken palmy.
Morning person or night owl? Night owl.
Morning person.
DIY project or professional renovation?
DIY.
Balayage or ombre?
Balayage.
Favorite season?
Summer.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Now make your silliest selfie face.
Oh my God.
This is where I love it. See, that shows that you have a little playful and funness in there. I love it. This was
good.
an amazing, amazing interview. I connect so well with you. Everything you're doing resonates with me. Where can the people find you? Where can they follow you?
Oh, thank you so much, Kim. They can follow me on my Instagram at waves underscore hair salon.
Love it. Are you not on any of the other socials? You just do Instagram?
I have a TikTok account, but I just don't use it. I've got
I'm
Facebook
telling
as
you,
well.
girl.
Yeah, there's too many things. And I'm like, if I get into it, then I'll just be in it. It's another thing, you know.
I am telling you, I go for one reason and I end with on how to wash your car. I'm like, no, I went in here too specifically.
Yeah,
you know, so I get it. And there's threads. I don't quite understand that one just yet. I don't know what I'm doing. But you know what? We're on here and we're trying and we're doing it.
That's
so
right.
I hope to see so much more from you. I will be watching, following, liking, subscribing, supporting you in every way that I can.
Kim, thank you so much. It's been
You're
lovely.
so welcome, Lisa. Take care from across the globe, and hopefully I can have you on later on down the line somewhere.
Sounds good. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.